Hi. Hi. Good evening. And so I'm here to chat to you guys about, well, anything you want to talk about, really. I'm here mainly because the Deluxe album's out today, and we're doing a bunch of festivals as well. And I have this little chap from, you might remember from many moons ago. Yeah, hi. So let's go first. Hi everyone. Hi. I'll tell you what, Lindy Lou actually asked, she was asking about how the collaboration came about with Dave Gahan, and I'll tell you, yeah, Mute Records thought it might be fun if we re-recorded one of our songs, and then the idea of a duet came about, and then Dave Gahan sprang to mind, really. I could just hear his voice singing the song. I mean, it just seemed to fit somehow. I could just hear him doing it. So, and we'd done a remix for them, so I guess we had a bit of history there with him. So yeah, it all seemed to make sense really to ask him, and I was amazed when he said yes. It was fantastic. So yeah, give us a question. Please come to Taiwan. Wow, well, I'd love to. Lots of people asking, why don't we come to South America and Mexico specifically? And I so would. I mean, I'm not kidding. I can't tell you how much I'd love to come to Mexico. Our problem is money. That old chestnut. It's being able to afford to get there and be there. It's just so hard for us, unfortunately, because the last time I've only played there once, and unfortunately my mum died, so it was all a bit of a strange evening, although I did really enjoy it and I loved Mexico. I just really want to go back, so maybe it'll happen. I hope so. I sure wish for it to happen. Okay. Yeah, come to Mexico. I want to. Do you remember this? You must do. Any releases on vinyl? Well, this little chap here will not be released on vinyl, unfortunately. And I don't quite know the answer to that, actually, why that is, unfortunately. As we all love vinyl, don't we? Someone says, do a Bond theme. Well, that ain't gonna happen. That just ain't gonna happen. I think we've gone past that now, the Bond thing. However, if someone asked us to do it, of course, that would be amazing, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen. We're not very famous in America, and anyway, moving on. Yes, and Daniel Hammond's asking, you're going to come to the US? Well, of course, we love the US, and we had such fun playing in New York last year and doing some of the US. Just loved it, so I'd love to come back again. It's bloody money, isn't it? Guatemala. Well, that would be fun. And the Netherlands, yeah, we haven't really done very much playing in the Netherlands, unfortunately. Alice says, how do you find directing? Well, I have to say I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's been a really quite a challenge, but amazing as well. I would definitely like to do some more. So I really, it's such an intense thing to do. You know, yeah, I hope more of that happens. Have you got any new napkins you want to show us? No, I haven't actually. Although, thankfully to you guys, I've got so many now. Yeah, thank you. Oh, someone says, yeah, they remember the horses' heads from at Brixton. And returning to Portugal, yeah, Porto. I remember Porto very well. God, it was a beautiful place. Another gig in Russia. I don't think that will happen. Somebody says, any chance of a complication of unreleased material? A compilation, maybe, even. I don't know, actually. Yes, we are. We're playing with The Cure tomorrow. That would be amazing. I love The Cure. And hopefully there will be people there listening to us as opposed to the footy. I think you might have to ask me some questions. Someone's saying, can you sing us a little part of White Horse? I'm not sure I can. That would be too. Well, we won't be touring again until there's another album, and at the moment, I don't know. I don't know when that will be. Alice says we'll be there tomorrow. Woo! Great, thank you. Let me see if there's any other questions. Camille says, are there any other demos or unreleased tracks from the Silver Eyes sessions? Well, there was a couple of things actually, and some little things knocking around that we never really quite finished. So maybe we'll get to finish those one day. Yeah, and also there's some footage that was done at Brixton, which I'm still yet to view, and we'll see what that's like. I hope it's good, and of course you will be the first to see it if it is any good. Carol Maple says, would you make a covers album, Goldfrapp style? I don't know. So many people do covers albums, especially when they get to my age. It seems to be a thing people do. I'm not sure about that. I have no desire to do a covers album. I mean, sometimes I'd like to do, you know, the odd cover springs to mind, but I think maybe doing a whole album might be a little bit much, but you know, never say never. Oh, thanks Alice for saying that about the videos. I really appreciate that. Bethlehem says, if you could choose another artist to collaborate with, who would it be, and which other song from the album would you choose? God. You know what? I don't know the answer to that. There are a lot of people I'd like to collaborate with, but I feel a bit shy saying who they might be because I don't know if they would want to. But anyway, but I would really like to collaborate with some other people. Yeah, yeah. Watch this space. Maybe it will happen in the next year or so. I've often thought I'd quite like it if someone covered Rocket. actually. Anyway, yes. Laura Chapman says, what are you listening to at the moment? Any new discoveries? I'm not listening to a huge amount at the moment. I really like Perfume Genius, and Muna. Do you know like band Muna? Those girls from, I think they're from LA actually. I think they're really great. Yeah, there's a few things. Oh, you guys saying such nice stuff. Yeah, Kate Gordon says, please can we have a live DVD? Yeah, there will be something. I'm not sure. I've got to look at the footage and see what it was like. But yeah, there will be something. I'm just trying to read what people are saying. Someone says, what was going through your mind when you wrote everything is never enough? It's really moving. Oh, wow. Okay, that's nice that you think it's moving. What was going through my mind? All sorts of things, like about the environment mostly, actually. And yeah, how, you know, it feels like nothing ever seems to be enough. We're never satisfied. The idea of we're never satisfied, that we just keep taking stuff from this planet, and we can't keep doing that, obviously, without repercussions. So it's sort of got, I suppose it's sort of like a slightly surrealist imagery, mountains with eyes and that kind of stuff. Interestingly, I think it was Bethan who had an image by David Lynch that was a mountain with a pair of eyes. So did you, Bethan? Anyway, I thought that was an amazing image. That was funny. I saw that just the other week. Come back to Los Angeles. Yeah, I'd love to. Any plans to direct a short film? Well, no, but I mean, that would be amazing. Union Chapel, someone says, can you play the Union Chapel again? I have to say, I love doing small gigs. I really like that. Last year on tour, we did like a few little clubs and things like that, and I really loved that. I love that intimacy, that sort of intensity you get at a small show. So yeah, I definitely would be up for doing stuff like that again. Someone says they're still buzzing from the Brixton gig. That's nice. Who designs your stage outfits? Well, I do in collaboration with Aldine Johnson, who's an amazing stylist, and we usually end up coming up with stuff ourselves. And yeah, I always sort of have to have stuff made for me because not, you know, because I'm kind of a weird shape. I'm only little, so yeah, stuff off the shelf doesn't usually fit me, unfortunately. And I'm just looking, and then Sarah, who does, who makes the actual, you know, stitching, pattern cutting, all that stuff. She's amazing. So yeah, there's kind of three of us, and we sort of collaborate together. And sometimes I mix and match things too. And I've lost my the page I was looking at. Lead Mill Sheffield was intimate and atmospheric. Yes, I loved playing that little place. I was slightly scared about it to begin with. I don't know why, because it's quite rock and roll, that place. But I loved it. I loved it. Someone says, surely you would love to work on an original score for a film sometime. Who said that? Zoob? That's a good name. Yeah, I'd love to. especially a kind of horror or psychological thriller. I love to do something like that. Have you seen Hereditary? I haven't seen that. Have you seen Hereditary? Oh God, I haven't seen it. And oh yes, Alice says, is Beast That Never Was anything relating to the unicorn Riker poem? Yes, it is. Someone says, Robbie says, come to Houston. Yeah. I'm going to have to do some crowdfunding or something to come to all these places because, yeah. Bethan says, really loved your story about Bowie. How was your experience writing that? Well, that was intense because it was my childhood and life story. I never talked about that stuff before, really. So a couple of nights before I did that, I kind of woke up in the middle of the night crying because I suddenly freaked out because I just thought, oh my God, do I actually really want to tell anybody this stuff? It felt quite exposing, but it was actually very good, and yeah, quite strange. What did you have for breakfast? Well, what did I have for breakfast this morning? This morning I had pan con tomato. Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Louis. Yeah, I just had it cut. I'm glad you like it. Mose, I think that's how you say it. Which of your albums reflects you more personally and emotionally? Well, I'd say they all do because they're all like a diary, really. They're like little diaries of, you know, certain times of my life and what I was feeling and thinking at that time. So yeah, each one is very much a personal affair, for good, for better or worse, really. Someone says, Damien Rude says, any chance for second greatest hits? Absolutely not, no. Jerry says, work with Massive Attack again. Well, that would be good because I never have, actually. I think you might be. Work with Tricky, who used to be in Massive Attack, but I've never worked with Massive Attack. Someone says, would you consider acting? Bethan says that. I don't know if I've got a worst memory ever. I don't think I ever remember any lines. That's the only problem. But I would love to give it a go. Yeah. Michael says B-sides, unreleased tracks, album one day. Maybe, yeah. I thought it's weird doing things like that because I feel like sometimes I don't really want to go back over things. You know, I like things to feel fresh and have a spontaneity about them. So there's something about going back over things that feels a little bit, I don't know, a bit strange. So I'm not sure about that. But I get where you're coming from. Florida, come to Florida. Yeah, I mean, I want to go everywhere. I really do. I'd go everywhere. Bonnie saying Hereditary is brilliant. Oh God, I really want to go. I was going to go on my own the other night, and then I thought, oh no, I might get a bit scared, so I didn't. But so I'm going to wait to go with a mate. Come to Chile, yeah, please. Leonardo says, please make a video for Become the One. You know what? I was thinking the other day, since we did that song, I really would love to do a video for that song. And I was thinking the other day, it'd be really good to try and make that happen somehow. Ooh, someone's giving me a little. Oh, nice people. Thank you. You're so nice. Layla Holzer. That's a nice name. Oh, that's who I've been listening to as well. What's her name? Oh, Adam, could you look in my Shazam tracks? Sorry. Okay. Cars. Julia, what's her name? Julia. What is her name? Julia no, she's not there. In my my library. Julia Holzer, is that her name? Anyway, I really like that song. I love that song. She's from LA as well, actually. Do you know who I mean, Adam? Oh, damn, does anyone else know who I mean? Oh, Kate says, did you actually get to meet Dave Gahan? Yes, I did, because I directed him in the video, and he was just adorable. I loved him. He was just such a nice guy, and he has such a presence about him. He's really, I was very nervous when I met him, when we were a bit starstruck. Julia Holter, that's it. And that song, have you, oh no, where is that bloody song? Can't find it. Anyway, whatever. Julia Holter, I really love that album. Julia Holter, Hayley Foster, yes, you got it right, Julia Holter. Thank you. Alice says we can crowdfund it. Oh, God, that would. I wonder how much money you'd actually need to. How would that work? Chris says, what are your thoughts of performing with The Cure on Saturday? Well, I hope I get to meet Robert Smith, because he... Oh, Alexander says, Katie Putwick says, I'm one of the best smelling people ever. Thanks, Katie. And she's a lady who knows her smells very, very well. Glenn says, you stared and pointed at my husband at a live concert because he was photographing you. Maybe it's because he held it there for a very long time. I don't object to people taking photographs of me at all at a concert or filming, but sometimes when someone's right at the front and they've just got their camera out like that, that can feel a little bit weird and can feel a little bit I don't know, claustrophobic sometimes, but I'm really not opposed to people taking pictures at all. Back in the day when people used to take pictures and all the flashes would go off, that was always really weird. I didn't like that. But now, because you don't have to use the flash, it really doesn't bother me. Yes, Alice said, I am who, blah, blah, blah. I am I, who am I, just crowdfunded a world tour. I mean, that is amazing, isn't it? I mean, hats off to them for being able to do that. That's really amazing. And to be able to get that support as well is really incredible. Jesus, that's not how you say it, is it? You don't say Jesus, do you? Do you say Jesus? Jesus? Okay, that sounds so much nicer than Jesus. Says your favourite song to perform live. What is it? Oh my God! Do you know what? I mean, loads of them, obviously, and I always like doing the new songs. But I never, ever, ever get bored of doing Strip Machine. I absolutely love playing that song. I never get bored of doing it. But I love playing Become the One and Sliding, actually, I'm really liking at the moment. Just because I really like the groove of it and the vocal range that I'm in. I kind of like, yeah, I mean, there was a phase where I didn't want to do Ooh La La. Maybe because I'd heard it so many times being played in places where I went to, and I think sometimes it's quite nice to just step back from a song for a little bit, and you know, you don't want to be bored of a song. That's the last thing you want to be. When you're playing something live, you want to really feel it and it feels fresh. Because it's quite nice just not to play things for a bit, so you don't overdo them. Trevor's saying my friend on the left isn't saying much. No, it's not, is he? He's a little bit old now, that's probably why. But he's still looking good though. Amazingly, actually, that he's still intact. Imagine those dancers had to wear them, and that was their little breathing holes here. And so that they could see, and they weigh a bloody ton. Amazing. So, a few people have said, release Fondue Nights, please. I mean, my God, I don't even know if we've actually got that. I don't know. I don't think we ever recorded that. Maybe we did. I can't remember. It's so long ago. So Christopher says Grace Jones ? I don't quite know what is. I guess, does that mean, do I like Grace Jones? And if it does, of course I do. I think she's like one of absolute goddess and amazing, and she was a massive influence on me when I was, you know, growing up, teenager. And she's just awesome and still is awesome. And yeah, wowza. Someone says, have you heard about DMT? Would you try it? What is, am I being dim? I don't know what that is. DMT. You might have to give me a clue. Would you like to see a close-up of the horse's head? I think we do. Look. The inside. Do you want to see? Have you got a horse's tail? Oh, you want to see the horse's tail? The horse's tail. Should I tell you what it's made out of? Shut up. Horse's tail. So was made out of a dildo. So it's the only thing I could think of that would work. So you know, like, there's a shop in London called Shush, which is a ladies' sex shop, and so I went in there and bought some dildos. In fact, I was in the dressing room trying one on, and the lady did give me a bit of a funny look, because obviously you don't normally wear them on your arse. And you have to have a particular type of dildo. It has to be a particular width and length, because as you can imagine, once you've plaited all the hair, it's wig hair, so I've got some wig hair from, you know, like stores in, I think it was on Blackstock Road, actually. Or no, was it the one up by Finsbury Park? What's that road called? Stroud Green Road. Anyway, from one of the shops up there. And so once you plait the hair around it, of course, the weight of the hair makes the dildo droop quite a lot. So it has to be quite quite solid and not too long, because if it's too long, then it looks kind of, it has to be quite sturdy, fat, short. And yes, that's what the horses' tails were made of. What else can I tell you? That might take a bit of the glamour out of it. Anyway. I'm glad you like Silver Eye so much. I tell you, I enjoy playing it so much, and yeah, feels good. I feel really good about it. Because you know, there are some albums I have to say that I don't feel quite so good about. I was only bought like, actually there's only one that I don't particularly, I'm not particularly crazy about. I think some of you probably know which one that is. New Orleans. Charles Alexander says, come to New Orleans. Oh my God, I'd love to go to New Orleans. I mean, who wouldn't? I'd crowdfund you to Penge. So Nick Short says, do you write better when you're happy or melancholic? I think it doesn't make any difference. I don't think it makes any difference. It's about ideas and yeah, but you know, I think sometimes when you're feeling melancholic, you know, it can give things more of a drama, and I suppose you feel things more intensely sometimes when you're melancholic, so maybe that makes sometimes for better, more revealing emotionally, maybe. I don't know, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I kind of, things, you can't write if you're depressed. If you're depressed, you can't bloody do anything, can you? So it's a fine balance. I think, was it the Buddhist monks say melancholia is like the truest, most truest, honest feeling. Matt says, would you write an autobiography? Oof. Don't know about that. Mr. Keto says, do you still enjoy pond swimming? I am longing for a pond swim. I haven't been pond swimming. I've fantasized about finding some nice lakes in Germany or something, or in America. That would be lovely. Wow. Louis says, have you ever been drunk? Yeah. Well, I'm trying not to drink at the moment, actually, at all, which is amazing. I feel so much better for it. Oh, what else? What else? Oh, Rich Root says, why do you always point up to the mixing desk when live? It's because sometimes The vocal, so I'm doing that because I want the vocal. I need to hear a bit more of myself into the microphone. That's what that is. Yeah. Rani says, what's the most difficult song to sing? Oof. Well, interestingly, this is being very honest now. The beginning of Utopia, doing the opera bit. I don't know if you've come to a gig in the last couple of years, you'll notice that I don't do that bit live anymore at the beginning, and that's because I just can't get up to those bloody notes anymore. I think, you know, as you get older, your voice tends to drop. So yeah, I can't do those high notes anymore. It's a bit of a bummer, isn't it? Yes, there you go. But that's the only thing really, actually. Terry says, I absolutely love A&E. Good. Is there a background story? Yes, there certainly is. It's about being an A&E. That is the story. Tom Rice says, where in the world would you like to travel that you've never visited before? Oh my God, there's so many places. I really want to go to New Mexico, Taos. I'd love to go there. And I'd love to go to the Azores to look at some of the volcanoes. I'd love to go to Chile. Go to Canada, you know, get out in the wilds. Oh my God, I mean, you know, just about everywhere actually. I love traveling. I did a trip again earlier this year to Fuerteventura and did some more photographs. So, which at some point I hope, well, actually they will be seen a bit later on in a very lovely magazine soon. A few of them, but I would like to try and get those published at some point. But yeah, I love traveling, and I'd love to do more traveling so I could do more photos and stuff. Mr. Keto is asking me lots of questions. The first question he asked me was, do you ever get drunk? Have you ever been drunk? And now he's asking, have you ever been high while performing live? Or do you prefer not to? No, you don't want to be doing that. It's not good. I think I did it once when I was about 20 and seriously regretted it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You need to be on it, and it's such an intense feeling anyway. You don't need to be. No, it's just too weird. It's too weird. Maybe it works for some people. It doesn't work for me. Aaron says, what inspired you to trying on a strap-on backwards to create the horsetail? Well, you know, I suppose when you're thinking about how to make something, you just think about anything that will work. You know, it's about just you just look around you and you start looking at objects in a different way. You think about them as just sort of, you know, I don't know. I suppose it's to do with the way, you know, if you see horses in dressage, they have that sort of bit and then it goes like that into their tail. So it kind of, I don't know, anyway, that might not make any sense. Bethan said, oh, right, yeah. Bethan says, put it on. You mean the head, not the, because I'm not going to do that. Matthew says, how long does it usually take you to write a track, and are you a music first or lyric first composer? Well, it kind of depends. You know, sometimes you write tracks really, really quickly. You know, you'll just be, you know, Will and I will be, we spend a lot of time jamming and improvising. So sometimes things will come super quickly. And other times it just takes a lot longer, you know. I do keep a little book of notes and things like that. So sometimes I'll come in with a lyric idea. But generally speaking, they kind of happen as we're writing the music. And sometimes well, actually quite a lot of the time, the lyric comes afterwards, or I'll have a sort of idea about the theme, or the, you know, a sort of narrative, but actually, you know, so it'll be like a sort of rough sketch of a lyric, and then further down the line I'll complete it. But yeah, for me, I don't know, when I listen to music, I tend to listen to the sound of the words and the way they feel, and the music. So the lyrics, generally speaking, are secondary to me, actually. Unless I'm listening to someone like Kate Bush, and then it feels, I don't know, something about the way she writes lyrics, I just think are amazing, and somehow feel very important. Jonathan says, what is Ocean about? The lyrics are so dark and scary. They sound apocalyptic. Well, then they're sort of more about a sort of an emotional, you know, sort of a mix of things, really, about someone I met who was a big disappointment. And also about losing someone as well. So it's a kind of a mixture of things, really. And the ocean being a metaphor for one's heart and life. Yeah. Moving on. Mark says he's off to buy one tomorrow. Hopefully it won't droop too much. Yeah, they do droop, as all good things do. Yeah, well, okay. Silver Eyes, a shamanic journey. Oh, good. I'm glad you sort of feel like that, Bear. That's nice. Okay, well, look. Thank you. It's very hot in here. And it's been really good talking to you. And our mate, the horse. Yeah, so, well, hopefully I'll get to talk to you again another time, and I'm sweating. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow, or maybe I'll see you at one of the other festivals. I hope so. Have a lovely evening, and keep cool. See you later.